going to be making cherry puree. Cherry puree is a really, really nutritious baby food for your little one just because it has a number of antioxidants, phytonutrients. It also contains melatonin, which is an antioxidant. Melatonin is something that aids in sleep, so it helps regulate circadian rhythms in your little one, which means helping them differentiate from nighttime and daytime and helping them sleep better through the night. So that's a nice benefit of this. Cherries are really good for adults as well. They prevent aging, they help with arthritis pain. They're just a really, really good healthy fruit. So these here are actually canned organic cherries. You can also get fresh cherries, but the downside to that is you have to pit them and you have to pull out all of the stems, which isn't a lot of work, but it's nice when you're in a rush just to have something like this. It's also in a sweet juice, so it's not as tart as the fresh ones are. Another good thing about the canned variety is that you have a little bit of juice in there, so you won't necessarily have to add breast milk, regular formula, or water. All right, like I said, I don't think we need to add any more liquid because this is a pretty good consistency. If you want it more liquid, you can always add the breast milk formula or water though. You can find the full recipe and all the health benefits of cherry puree for your baby on baby-recipes.com. So we're done here. Just put them in these ice cube trays. You could serve the puree right now, or you can pop this in the freezer, just put it in there for 3 months, and then serve. Today we're going to be making watermelon puree. This recipe is recommended for babies that are 8 months of age and older. On baby-recipes.com you can read about how to pick out the perfect watermelon. Here we have a baby watermelon because where we are living right now, the big watermelon isn't in season, but this is an acceptable alternative. When you're picking out a watermelon, you want to knock on it. This is one of the melons you can knock on. You want to hear a full sound because this is supposed to be a very watery and thick fruit inside. So that's one way to determine whether or not it's a good fruit. You also want to look for the spot right here. This is called the field spot. The more creamy the field spot, the riper and more sweet the fruit. So your baby will obviously enjoy a sweeter fruit. So what we're going to do first here, I don't think I'll even need a half of this right now, but let's start with this piece. Obviously, you don't want to chop up the rind. No one likes to eat that. Dispose of that. These are nice because they don't have the big black seeds. The black seeded watermelon, I think it tastes better, tastes sweeter than the seedless. These little baby ones don't come with black seeds. They come with the seedless type of seeds, but they're very good as well. So you can puree using any method. You can use a food processor, which is my preferred method. You can use a fork, you can use a blender, you can use any kind of mashing device you may have. Food processor I think is the easiest because you just drop the pieces in like this and go to town with the puree button. You can always add either fluids or rice cereal. With this one, since it's such a watery fruit, you can add rice cereal to get the desired thickness for your baby. Already done. So the reason watermelon's good for your baby is because it has a lot of B vitamins, water, vitamin C, and so forth in it. So I'll show you how to put this in an ice cube tray. This is the best way to freeze any of your baby foods you're making because you can just freeze it and pop them out, put them in freezer bags, store them for 3 months. You can read more about that on baby-recipes.com as well. And I'll show you here, since that is kind of watery, maybe your baby wouldn't want such a watery fruit, not eating it half frozen to get the right consistency. I have some rice cereal though, so I'll show you how to do this. We can just add some in here. Put our top back on. This is much thicker. If this still isn't the desired consistency that you want, notice how that it's not as runny, it even looks thicker. You can always add more rice cereal if you want. I think this is a pretty good consistency. You want your baby to still taste the watermelon, not just rice, so. And there we go. 2 varieties of watermelon puree, thick and thin. Okay, so within this tinfoil is a sweet potato that I cooked earlier. And sweet potatoes are a really good food for your baby because they have a lot of vitamins and minerals. They have vitamins B, C, and D. B is a really, really good vitamin because it aids in neurodevelopment in your little one. The C obviously prevents against infection and boosts the immune system. And D aids in bone development. So that's a really, really good vitamin to have on board. Vitamin D is also gotten in the system by the sun. So the skin of the sweet potato actually has a lot of the nutrients, but obviously we're not going to give that to your baby because it doesn't really have a good consistency. I'm going to add a little bit of breast milk to get the desired consistency that I want. The only downside to making potatoes is that sometimes the consistency is a little bit too thick for your baby. So you want to add either the breast milk formula or water to dilute it a little bit. So you can serve this immediately, obviously, or you can freeze it. This is the easiest way of freezing baby food, I think. All you do is you dump it in these little cubes here on an ice cube tray. Each cube is about 1 ounce. You pop this in the freezer, take out the cubes whenever they're frozen, put them in a storage bag, let them sit in the freezer for a maximum of 3 months, and serve whenever you want.